Hi, Julia Watts here. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're having another look at the Sentimentally Yours from the Heart collection, and we're using two of the limited edition exclusive to Honeypot Crafts and myself stamp sets. So as I said, they're exclusive. They haven't been on Hobby Maker and they won't be. They are limited edition, printed on the front. So once they're gone, they are gone. So you'll find them over on my website, juliawattscrafts.co.uk, and over at honeypotcrafts.co.uk too. And there is a full list of what I've used or I'm using in the description of this video. So as I said, we're using the limited edition ones. We're using Heartfelt Sentiments. We've got 17 stamps on here, lots of mixed font sentiments, and we've got these scribbled hearts here, which coordinate with the limited edition Scribbled Hearts background stamp, which we're also going to be used as one of my favourites. Right, so let's see where we're at. First of all, we are going. What are we going to do? We are going to do our background. That's what we're going to do first of all. So I'm using the Grandeur squares from the Layered Differently. There we go. The Grandeur squares, very popular from the second release of Layered Differently, and this is the second largest mat, cut out of, this is Alabaster white, so this is a creamy white card that we're using here. And what we're going to do is we're going to make ourselves a background stamp. So we are going to, let's see, let's grab a piece of kitchen roll so we don't make a mess. So I'm only going to stamp on here. I'm not going to use my stamping platform. We are going to use the 5 scribbled hearts from the Heartfelt Sentiments stamp set, and we're going to make ourselves another stamp. So we're randomly going to put them. Sorry about the noise. On our block. We are going to have them facing all the same way, although they might be at a bit of a jaunty angle to each other. Let's have this one perhaps there, and this small one here. Not sure how they're going to all fit together, but we'll soon see, won't we? And we're going to stamp our background with Sand Dune Versafine Clair, which you will find on both of our websites. So we don't need to, because we're putting on the Grandeur squares. Oh, that tickle's come again. Where is it? I'm not coughed all morning. It drives me nuts. So you can see we only just need it around the edges, just a bit more in the corners. Oh, tickle. Right, so let's see how we get on with our custom made background stamp. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just stamp it in the middle first of all to see how it looks. And is that a glob? That's just a glob of ink we've got there, but it's going to be fabulous. Do you like these scribbled hearts? So we'll pop one in the corner here, and we're going to go off the page a bit. It is attracting the ink, that bit there. It's just a bit annoying. We'll go, let's go up a bit here. So 2 of them are off the page, which is fine. You can always go back and just use one stamp to add in extra bits at the top, if that makes sense. So if you wanted an extra little bit there, you could just use a little stamp and just stamp that separately. It's been ages since I've done this. I always do this quite a lot actually. Change the angle a little bit. How will that look? I can bring our thingy down. isn't it? So we're not going to have much on here and there. I do tend to ink them all up anyway, because I'm hopeless at remembering which bits are going to be stamped and which bits aren't. There's a lot of ink on that one again. Tending to over ink that one there. But I'm not going to worry about it because they're scribbled. If you're more comfortable stamping the entire thing, then do that. If you'd rather do that than stamp around the edges. You do you, as Mr. Holtz always says. Whatever you're most comfortable at. So now we're going to go up here. And we only want a little bit on that side, okay? Are we going to be able to get one in there? Right, we're not. Right, so what we're going to do, just to finish that off, let's just check how we're looking. We're looking absolutely fine. So I'm going to fetch the tiny one off. Let's just clean this up a bit. The smallest one I'm going to fetch off, and I'm going to put on my little circle block, and we're just going to fill in any gaps with this one. We've definitely got a gap there. It's a little bit premature there. I went down a bit quick. We might need to pull another one off. I think we want a gap here. Just fill in the gap there. Look. Don't overdo it. I'm not going to put anything else in there. I wish I'd have gone a bit further up with that one, but I'm not going to do anything else in there. I think we're good. I think we are just dandy. Right. So that's our background done. And that will go onto this here, a gold mirror card like that. The largest die from the Grandeur squares, and then that will go on there. Fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. Right, and then that's going to go on a 6x6 card. That's where we're heading. Right, we'll do some sticking in a minute. Let's do our sentiment. Stamping platform. I like to have a stamping platform for my sentiment so I get it just right. And we're going to have it this way. And this is, again, from the Grandeur squares. So it's this one, which you can obviously have that way up, or we're going to have it this way up, I think. I think that's what I intended. So let's just get my magnets in the corners and find the sentiment I was going to use from the set. I was going to use You Are the Sunshine in Every Day. Oh, that's so sweet, isn't it? Something you should say to people, really, isn't it? Let's have a look. Let's see if we can get this on here straight. Just about fits. Okay. Let's hope I don't get any globby bits. These new Versafine Clairs are very juicy. And because it's so light as well, you can't actually see where you're inking either. but I do like sand dune with the gold. And I'm also using warm stone card, which will crop up in a minute. Okay, we're good. Perfect. That fits on really nicely. Fabulous. It's not too bad on the straightness either. Right, let's see where we're at now. Let's get this background stuck on here. I need to remember not to put glue in the middle because I've gutted. So just in the corners and around the edges. Finger. Now mirror card does slide around a bit, which is very annoying. It's good, but it's bad. So I'm hoping that when I put this under here, that it doesn't move. Fingers crossed. Right, that's that done. Then I have, where is it? Let's get my Grandeur squares out again. So I've taken, this is number 3 I think, yeah. I've taken the middle one of the decorative dies and I've cut it out of gold mirror card and I've embossed it, get the right way, with the 3D beaded heart lattice, which you can just about see there. And that's going to go behind a frame that I've created using, I cut the largest but one die out of the warm stone card. Then I cut the next one, which is the middle one, number 3, out of the Alabaster white and glued those together. I do this quite a lot actually. I glued that together. When the glue's dry, I then used the smallest one and popped it in the middle and ran that through and cut that out. And then you get your frames lined up perfectly. Okay, so that's what I've done there. And then this is going to go on here. So we're going to look into it. And then the whole lot is going to go onto this one here. So let's get some, I've cut some strips of my favourite Creative Expressions mountain cushion. Hopefully they're thin enough. If they're not, I'll have to trim them down a bit. So I've got 2 pieces stuck together. And I like this because I can just go around the corners. Rather than doing lots of little bits of tape, I can just go around the corners. Which again does take a little bit of time. I did think I might stick it on flat, and I thought no, let's give it a go and let's see if we can go all the way around with this tape. Correctly. And it's not super sticky, so it doesn't stick to you while you're doing it. I love this stuff. It might be a bit thick there. I'm going to just trim that there because I've got another strip. I'll put that there for a minute. In fact, I think this strip's a little bit wide just there, so I'm just going to trim a little bit off there. Easier to trim it off now than while we're doing it. It's quite hard to cut it straight, so some of the pieces go off at a bit of a weird angle. So we start here again. This is a bit thinner than the other one, which is, or narrower, which is fine. Some bits are narrower, some bits are thicker. Around the corner. Nearly there. I say nearly there, we're about 2/3 of the way. But I think it's quicker than cutting lots of little bits, or having, you could use the, you know, the little tiny bits of foam, the little foam squares that we always used to have stuck into the bottom of everything. All the backs used to be all around the house. I don't think we tend to use them so much nowadays. So there's my frame, and I'm actually going to stick it on this way. I think I might, what's that there? It's drawn on it. Should I put big glue? No, I'm not going to put glue on as, am I? No, I'm not going to put glue on as well because it'll slide and I don't want it to slide. So we can, I know that I can line this up as if it was matted on here. And then it's going to be perfect. There we go. I need to make sure these are up the right way. Easy peasy. And then this is going to go on here. So we're going to glue that down. Sentimentally Yours PVA as always, because it's the best. And then we're going to hope that this doesn't slide around on here and move, because mirror cards like that. So we could have it like that if we wanted to. I'm not going to. I'm going to go, oh, I've gone down. We've got to do it that way. I've touched it with the glue, so it's got to be this way. We've got no choice. That's all right. I do prefer it the other way, but this is the way it's going. Remind me to make sure that the hearts are pointing the right way. Right, okay, so that's that. And then we're going to pop our sentiment in the middle. We might as well do that now. And we're going to pop that onto some 3D foam tape. We've got 2mm foam tape here. If I remember, I'm trying to put my scissors down quietly, but I don't always remember. It's hard to remember everything I need to do. Right, this is where it's important that the hearts are facing the right way. And we're not going to prick this, we're just going to pop it in the centre. Like so. Perfect. Okie dokie, where are we at now? Right, we want to put this on here, and we want to put this on our card. And then we'll do some flowers, because it'd be rude not to do any flowers, wouldn't it? And I haven't used that Scribbled Hearts background yet, because I've made my own background on here. Using the little hearts from the Heartfelt Sentiments. And on the Cherished Sentiments you get Scribbled Hearts, but they're a slightly different shape. These are like a fatter heart and the other ones are more a pointy heart. For a bit of variety. Of course you can also use the stars that are on one of the other sets. I think it's on the Essential Sentiments. Yes, the Essential Sentiments. And you can make a starry background with the stars on there. So lots of variety across all the different sets. But as I said, what I'm using today stamp wise are from the limited edition ones, which are only available from myself and Honeypot Crafts. Let's get this in here. Got cut bits everywhere. See if we can get this straight. And in the middle ish. There we go. And then we're going to pop our topper on. Should we raise that? I think I'm going to just stick that on actually, because it is quite raised anyway, and we want to get flowers on it. So I'm going to just glue this on. I know if it would be Phil, it'd have another layer of foam tape, but we're not doing that. It's pointing the right way. So you could, if you don't want to put flowers on, you could just stop at that. Make sure it's anchored. Right. I think that looks fabulous as it is, doesn't it? Can't get sunnier than a mirror card, can you really? Right, so flowers. We want to do a bit of stamping on the flowers. And we are using the scribbled hearts with it. Let's put that to one side for a moment. Let's put it there. Where's my die cuts? There they are. Right, so I'll tell you what you're using here. I am using those in a bit. Those in a bit. The flowers we're using are the lovely petals and the beautiful petals. So the beautiful petals are the ones with the, let's see, piercing around the edges. So we've got the different sizes of these. I'm using the 4 petal ones. I'm using the 3 smallest out of the Alabaster white, and then the lovely petals I've got the cut out detail, but they're plain in the middle, so there's no piercing on them. So those are the flowers that we're using. I'm only doing 3 flowers on this, and we are going to stamp. I'm going to grab my mat out of my stamping platform. And let's really put that sentiment away. Let's put that sentiment away as well. Top grade photopolymer stamps, of course, from Sentimentally Yours. Just so I've got a cushion to stamp on. And I can see from where I've stamped it before that that's the size of the stamp. So we can pop our, I'm going to stamp on all of them. I'm not just doing, am I stamping on all? Yes, I am. No, actually, let's do a point of difference with them. So, the smallest heart, I don't think will fit on there, will it? Yeah, we're going to stamp on all of them. Decisions, decisions. We need the big border block. Or you could, I find it easier to use the big border block as opposed the DL block as opposed to the A6 block, because then I've got something to hang on to. Because I've only got little hands, I find the bigger block easier. So just fetch this off. This is an A6 stamp. I'm hoping it hasn't still got blue ink on it from when I used it before. I think I cleaned it. I can see some blue ink actually down the bottom. Okay, so roll it on there so you don't get any air bubbles. And we use the sand dune again. do it sideways on because I find it easier. So we're just going to go over our flowers and give them a stamp. They look fab actually. Don't they look good? It's a great thing to stamp on your flowers actually. Obviously you can use pattern papers as well if you want to. They look fab. I'll show you the bigger ones of these actually, so you can see these with the cutouts. Let's have the heart up the right way. Some of them are, I mean that one's a little bit not stamped so well there, but that doesn't matter. It's just a little bit distressed. Bless it. Let's just give this a clean. Just in case I want to use a different colour. I'm trying to do my best to keep these a bit cleaner. But do you know, this happens on the top. I don't know where I can get some more tops of these. Drives me nuts. It's archival cleaner that I'm using. If you're near a tap, you can just run it under a tap. I think there's some bits from the foam gone in the stamp there. Okay, right, I'll put that away later. That's that. Right, let's get to our flowers. Got some leaves here. These leaves here are from the Majestic Fronds, and I've cut these out of the warm stone card. But so yeah, I'm sure it's Majestic. Yeah, Majestic Fronds. So you've got a right in a lefty of 4 different sizes on that. So we'll put those to one side for a minute because I don't need those just at the minute. I want to shape my flowers. Should we do the same old, because I'm comfortable with that. And I like doing them the same way. Ideally, you'd wait until the ink was a bit drier, but we go for it like this. Just drag the tool into the centre. You can shape them with your tweezers. I know that Georgine, who's in the Crafting with Phil Martin Sentimentally Yours group, does lots of different types of flowers. Do have a look at, search for Georgine in the group and have a look at some of her fabulous flowers. And if you're not a member of the group, ask to join Facebook, Crafting with Phil Martin and Sentimentally Yours group. There's lots and lots of inspiration in there from the design team, from Phil, and from the members. You do have to answer a question to prove that you're a crafter to get accepted. So if you don't answer the question, you won't get in. And there's Phil usually does a live in there. I think it's normally once a fortnight on a Thursday. He doesn't do the day after he's had shows. The Stamens from the Sensational Stamens 3, I've chosen these ones and I've cut them out of the, I think it's called French Champagne Lustre card. And the reason is I've got some twiddly bits that are cut with this. So I thought we'd coordinate and I can use my twiddly bits I've already got cut out. So it's a bit of a cheat for me, but it still does coordinate nicely. So we turn these over. And give them a poke in the middle. I do recommend this Sand Dune Versafine Clair. It's perfect to use with kind of gold type or neutral type cards. Unless you're not lazy like me and you actually do some embossing. But I'm quite lazy nowadays. So we're going to put the plain one at the bottom. So we want glue in the centre of the plain one. And we're just going to offset them. I'll tell you what might have been nice actually, to do one of the layers in the warm stone and stamp on those. That might have been nice as a point of difference. Maybe you can try that. Maybe you can try that. Be careful if you're stamping on the Lustre card. You can stamp on Lustre card, but it will take a little bit longer to dry because it is a coated cardstock. You can also stamp on mirror card, but again, be very careful with that if you're embossing, because obviously things take, you would need to emboss it so it would set, and it does take a while to dry. So yeah, you need to emboss it, and also you've got to be quite careful with the heat tool that you put on there, because sometimes it can take away the mirror card layer, or it could crinkle. So just be careful. Just try it on a little tiny bit. It's fun to try different things. Try it on a little bit first. If it doesn't work, it doesn't matter, does it? So we're going to pop our Stamens in the middle. These are the French champagne. At least I think it's called that. I will double check before I write all the things in the description. Come on, in the middle. Stop sliding around, for heaven's sake. Thank you very much. And we are going to use the champagne gems as well, because I thought they would be rather nice with this. I have asked about the Aurora gems, which are currently not available, and I think when there's an order, a bigger order to send off, they might be ordered. So depends on what other gems go out of stock, I think. So champagne, you can only get these from Honey Pot, and we're going to use the 5mm because those, no, the 8mm because those are the ones that fit into the cup. I don't think that one's very central. Me and my eyesight. Let's put that over there a bit. Give it another push. Don't know if I made that better or worse. A good blob of glue in the centre for our gems. And grab a pickup tool. Pretty, such pretty gems. Very sparkly as well. See if I can get that in straight. Push it with my finger. It will flatten them out a bit, but they still do should have a bit of shape. I know Phil uses his tweezers when he pushes them in, but I can't do that. This is what I'm doing. Pushing it in with my finger. Fabulous, look at those. Aren't they pretty? Right, so those are they. And we need to add flowers to our card. So I did think, what was I thinking? I don't know, Julie, what were you thinking? I think we're having the 3s at the bottom. I haven't cut the big one. So I think we're going to have the 3s at the bottom with the big flower. Just like that, just like that. And then we're going to have 2 flowers up here. I'm not sure whether I'm going to put leaves with those or not. I think we should. So we need the 2s up here probably. So just going on the frame. And I think that's all we need there. Because it's only a little card, so it doesn't, it's only a 6x6 card. It doesn't need loads of stuff on it. Right, so let's get that glued. Back of the flower. Pretty. And then we'll do these up here. I think we're going about there. And then our 2 flowers. Fabulous. So I think we're just, shall we use twiddly bits on this? Let's get them out. As I said, I've got some champagne ones. That one. And some more hearts there. Right. Yeah, let's use them. Let's use them. I think it'd be rude not to. We do love a twiddly bit, don't we? Inspired idea from our Phil. Let's have the... I like them to be the same, so we'll have this one over here. And then, do you want a swirly curly whirly one out of here? We might, but we do want to cut some of that off. So we'll pop that underneath there. It's only a little flower, so sliding around until it sticks, which is good really because it means that I can slot things in. So cut a little bit off that one. Sorry, twiddly bit. We'll pop it underneath this flower here. Fabulous. Okie dokie, so you know what we need to do? We need to put pearl in each corner and then that will finish that off nicely. I've got my glue's a little bit over enthusiastic now. I go from the one that's nearly, well, it's about 3/4 empty, so it's a quarter left. So waiting for that to come down to this one that's a little bit enthusiastic because it's nearly full. Can't really win. Right, so let's grab these pearls. I'm not putting a pearl on there because I don't want to hide the heart. I'm giving them a shape so they stand up. I think we are going to have the big pearls rather than the little ones. We can make a bit of a statement. And then when I've used all my 8mm gems, I think, why didn't I use 5mm in the corners and then I'd have some left? There we go. Let's just have a look, see whether I'm happy with those. I think I am. Yeah, we're good. There we go. That's nice and sparkly, isn't it? A lovely little 6x6 card there. Looks really, really small on my mat, doesn't it? See if I can line it up for you. There we go. So I hope you've enjoyed that. As I said, you'll find the products over on my website, juliawattscrafts.co.uk, and also over at honeypotcrafts.co.uk. Do remember that the stamps that I've used are limited edition and they're only available from the two of us. Do like and subscribe here on my YouTube channel. I do love to read your comments, and there's lots and lots of videos for you to watch and lots more to come. Thank you for watching.